Namaste. In today's video, I'm going to talk about issues with regard to sexual shame, guilt, pain, all that keeps us stuck in the lower level vibration. How do we come out of it? How does it transform into knowledge or into a type of learning? Or how do we use this as a ladder to grow spiritually? Apart from that, I further discuss about the role of Goddess Varahi Devi in allowing this transformation to happen within us. How can we seek her blessings to evolve quickly with regard to these issues? What is a spiritual journey? It is a journey where your vibrational level is increasing. When the vibrational level is increasing, you are moving away from the limited I, that constricted sense of I, which is the cause of all misery, all suffering, which is the cause of bondage. You are trying to break that shell, move beyond that into something bigger, something higher. And as you are moving higher up, you can feel sensations in your body. You can start experiencing the other layers within you. You can experience symptoms like pranic movements, electrical sensations across your body, vibrations in your body. These experiences are further associated with certain mental and emotional states also. So the spiritual journey affects us at every level. And as we are moving away from the lower I, the pain, the suffering, the judgments, the opinions, the ideas, the beliefs that the limited I has, we are trying to break through that and evolve into something higher, something which is more closer to the divine. But many of us have to deal with our pain before we can reach that level. That pain can be within us in the form of some sort of a suffering. It could be some suffering related to sexuality, it could be some suffering related to sexual issues like harassments or sexual trauma. It can be shame, it can be guilt, it can be a kind of pain where we feel betrayed. It could be the judgments we hold, or it could be the judgments that were held against us. So many issues are there that we need to resolve. We need to understand that we carry this within us. As long as we are caught up at this level, we cannot spiritually grow. So, the spiritual awakening process is where we come out of all these things. We wipe out our slate clean. And as we are doing that, our vibrational level is increasing. At this point, we are able to harness the higher spiritual energies in the universe. But before that, we have to understand that we need to heal. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Goddess Varahi Devi. She resides in the Talu Chakra. The Talu Chakra is in between the Vishuddhi Chakra and the Agya Chakra. It is somewhere here behind the uvula in this brainstem region. So here you have the 8 goddesses. These 8 goddesses are called Matrikas. These Matrikas, they give us the ability to experience various emotions. We are able to experience life on earth and the various range of emotions, whether it is positive or negative, because that capacity to experience these emotions comes from these Matrikas. And when we are ready to evolve, when we have lost interest in the drama that is happening at the level of the third dimension, we want to move away from it. We had enough of it. These same matrikas, when you call out to them, they will pull you out. So, this is an easier path to raise your vibration quickly. There is one path where we are consciously trying to work through various layers of pain, guilt, and shame. And there is this path where you surrender all these feelings, all these ideas, the suffering, the pain to the goddess, and she takes care of it. Her presence itself will wipe away all these things. And she is goddess Varahi Devi. This is with regard to sexual shame and other issues which I'll talk about in today's video. The arrow that you see on top of the goddess's picture, that is goddess Varahi Devi. If you notice, goddess Varahi Devi has a boar face. Many goddesses have different types of faces, and these faces are there because the energy of this form has some meaning at the archetypal level. When you see any divine entity or any divine being or god or goddess with the shape of a boar as a face or as a boar face, you have to understand that this face signifies protection. That is protection energy, especially when people are targeted through occult practices or in a spiritual awakening process. When we can become a target of certain people, situations, or entities, it is her energy. She protects. She will never allow any negative entity to come near you, especially for those who are on the spiritual path. Apart from that, the boar face even represents knowledge. And the boar face is connected to water element. That is why if you have any stories or any mythologies with regard to the boar face deities, you would always see water in it. For example, we have the story of Sri Mahavishnu, God Vishnu in the form of a boar faced deity known as Varahaswami. In this mythology or in this story, the earth, it goes into lower vibration because of the acts of a demon called Hiranyaksha. When earth goes into lower vibration, the lowest of all worlds is the Patala Loka. So the vibration level of earth has gone down to such a state, there's so much of chaos, so much of evil on earth, that now the vibrational state is that of the Patala Loka. And in the cosmic ocean, if you take the universe as a cosmic ocean, in that cosmic ocean, earth has gone down to a very lower state of vibration. So Sri Mahavishnu, in the form of the boar-faced deity, he comes. He is called as Varahaswami here. And he lifts the earth from the lowest level of vibration and he brings it up to the vibrational state, the normal vibrational state of earth. And while doing this, he destroys the demon called Hiranyaksha. This is the story. So here also you will see that the boar-faced deity is a protective deity. They are territorial. They take care of those things, the wealth, the territory, everything that is within their space, or if somebody invites these boar-faced deity into their life, then they're very protective about their devotees. So this is the energy of the boar. And this is one avatar of Sri Mahavishnu. But the goddess Varahi is the form of Shakti. Shakti in the form of the boar face. If you see, she is sitting on a buffalo. Buffalo, it represents the ignorance within us, the laziness within us, our lower vibrational state. When she enters our life, she knows how to pull you out of that laziness. Sometimes we are stuck at certain level in the spiritual state. She allows us to move beyond that state. She grants you protection from many evil entities, especially those who are on the spiritual path and those who are undergoing a lot of uh, very fearful experiences. For them, it is always wise to take the protection of a divine entity to protect them. If we deviate from our path, she pulls you back onto the path. She will give you knowledge. knowledge with regarding to the spiritual evolution process that is required by you. You see her mouth, it comes out like a boar. The reason why it comes out like that and what that represents is the boar can dig deep into the mud, into the muddy water to pull out things. So that face that comes out like that, it represents the ability to dig deep within our own subconscious mind. She will remove all hurdles that are there in your spiritual path. We are caught up in our old behaviors. We are not able to move beyond our old behaviors. We even do not understand we are stuck in our old behaviors. So the blessings of Varahi Devi can pull you out of your old dysfunctional beliefs, your old dysfunctional patterns, and allow you to recreate a new image at a higher vibrational state. And she is also attached with the water element. I told you the boar face is attached with the water element. And what is this water element in our body? It is the Swadhisthana chakra. In the top picture here, you can see the various chakras in our body. The lowest of all chakra is the root chakra, which is the Muladhara chakra. Just above that, the orange color chakra is the Swadhisthana chakra. This is the chakra where a lot of our issues of subconscious mind are there. And in a spiritual or Kundalini awakening process, our subconscious mind is opening up. Our mind is divided into the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. The conscious mind is what we use when we are in a wakeful state. We know, we are aware at that level. But the decisions which we take, our behavior, our personality, the experiences we attract in life, they all come from the deep material that is there at the level of the subconscious mind. And we are not aware that this is there within us at the level of the conscious mind. So, in a spiritual or Kundalini awakening process, the subconscious mind is opening up. The material which was hidden till now, which you were not aware that was there within you, that is all coming up to the surface for you to deal with and heal from. So, in the subconscious mind, you have lot of issues which are repressed this lifetime. Then again, many issues coming from the past lifetime. Then we have issues with regard to our family lineage. Then the societal karma that is there at the level of the unconscious mind, even deeper. So all these things they come up to be dealt with in a spiritual or Kundalini awakening process. That is why when the subconscious mind is opening up, we have dreams. You will see dreams where you see soil, you will see water, watery dreams. Sometimes you will see muddy, murky waters. That is when the subconscious mind is opening up and the material of the root chakra and the sacral chakra, they are coming out to be cleared. It can look like muddy waters. And that is why at this level, the energy of Varahi Devi will help you. As I said earlier, her mouth comes out, it's protruded like it can, dig into muddy or murky water and pull out things from it. So she will help you to clear away a lot of issues with regard to Swadhisthana chakra. At this level, your dream activity will be very high. Many of your dreams will feel like it is a dream, but they look very real. They're very connected to your experiences. You understand the connection between the dream and your life. The subconscious mind is coming out, and a lot of emotions are coming out to be dealt with. You will be crying. Maybe one moment you're laughing. Maybe in one moment you're very angry. Then you are reeling in pain. So you will have a lot of different emotional states coming out to be expressed. All this happens when the subconscious mind is opening up and when especially the energy is working in the lower three chakras, especially in the second chakra. And the second chakra, water, represents your emotions. Here you could feel like a victim, sometimes you could feel like the perpetrator, sometimes you see like you are the participant in an act, or sometimes you feel that you're the experiencer of all these things. So all these things have different impressions on a subconscious mind. What does Swadhisthana Chakra deal with, and why is Varahi Devi important here? We have to understand that Devi, she represents, or she controls the serotonin production within our body. And the serotonin is one of the important neurotransmitters that is produced by our body, which I'll explain further in the video. And Swadhisthana Chakra area, it is concerned about the fear of rejection, or the fear that maybe somebody will not accept you, the fear of being judged, the fear of getting insulted, then holding grudges, the need to get even, or the feeling that we get when we want to take revenge or get vindictive. And it is not just the experience when it is happening. Many a times the experience only happens once or twice. Later on, when we are in a private zone, we keep thinking about that incident. So the memory is resurfacing. It is coming up again and again. So even though the incident or the insult happened only once, when you are repeating that in your mind, the subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that is happening presently and something that is coming up as a thought. It will still react to that mental image the same way it reacted when you were experiencing it at, as a real instance. So here the body goes into stress, the mind goes into stress. And apart from that, how you look at an incident, or how you choose a partner, or how you deal with different situations in your life, this comes from your limbic brain programming. Your limbic brain programming is how your brain pathways got developed over many lifetimes to process information. I made a video earlier about this topic. I'll post the link to that video in the description box below. Please watch it. You will understand what I'm talking. Many a times we keep choosing karmic partners because of our limbic brain programming. If we attract a partner who's abusive towards us, we do not want this partner in this life. We get rid of that partner, or situations come up in our life that the partner leaves us and goes away. The next time too, you will have the ability, or rather I can say that you will have the inclination at a subconscious level to attract that same type of person again into your life. The second person also, who you may think is very nice, generous, good person, after marrying the second person, it turns out that he is as abusive as the first partner. So these things that we experience in our life, especially with regard to partners, marriages, love interests, all these things are a part of the Swadhisthana Chakra. And once we understand the programming that is there at that level and we override the programming, that is when, or in a way, I can say that when you have learned your lessons with regard to karmic partners, you need to learn those lessons. Once you learn those lessons, then you can attract a good soul level relationship into your life. So all these lessons come to you at this level. And dealing with this baggage, this drama that happens at the level of the Swadhisthana Chakra, when you have the help of Goddess Varahi, it is much easier. Goddess Varahi, she is connected to the water element, which is the Swadhisthana Chakra. The Swadhisthana Chakra has its positive sides and its negative sides. So the negative side is envy. The more somebody experiences envy, the more they are caught up in the material of the Swadhisthana Chakra. Many negative emotions that are associated with Swadhisthana Chakra are envy, shame, blame, guilt. I've given the entire list here. Apart from that, Swadhisthana Chakra, it is even a place where you attract new opportunities, new levels of creativity. It is associated with your sense of calmness and peace. It is associated with your ability to feel happy, joyous. When this chakra is working properly, you have a nice life, a very easy, happy state of being. And what comes as a result of this Swadhisthana chakra blossoming, or rather, I would say that the energy working correctly, is that the person has a lot of humility. The major issue many people face at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra, especially those souls which are not very spiritually evolved, they have a tendency to express more of the negative aspects of the Swadhisthana chakra. The Swadhisthana chakra, it deals with some very important aspects like what is your self-worth? Is your self-worth coming from within you, or is it based on how others perceive you? Do you have self-doubts? What is your level in the society? How do you rate yourselves? How are others rating you? It is very strongly connected with your emotions. For example, if you see people who are taking a lot of selfies, they're so uh, much into, trying to look very beautiful for the society. They go on to websites, various social platforms. They edit their photos so that they look very beautiful and they put them up. And when somebody likes their pictures, they're very happy. But at a personal level, they're unhappy. So they're trying to build an image of being the very beautiful, happy person to the external world, but internally they're very unhappy. Because here their self worth is dependent upon how others perceive them. And at an inner level, they're unhappy with their looks, or they're unhappy about their choices, or they're unhappy about life in general. So this chakra is all about how much you are valued. What is your worth? And this comes out in many ways. For example, as I said earlier, people want to look beautiful, desirable, so they have pictures up. There are others who buy flashy cars. And if you're buying a car for yourself, it's okay. But many do this so that they can show off to others that they're rich. When they do this, they feel happy. Serotonin gets produced in their body. When you have this desire to be looked up to as something very positive, something very nice, Mr. Nice, Miss Nice image. And when somebody is doing that to you, you get a kick out of it. And that is your serotonin production. So the serotonin gets produced at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra, and it makes that person feel happy. It makes that person feel special. They feel entitled. They feel that their value in the society has increased. You will see many such people even in spiritual circles. They put up very happy posters of being in some spiritual area, or in some spiritual retreat. If you're trying to inform your friends and encourage your friends to participate in such activities, it's a good thing. But if it is done just for personal advertisement, or it is just done to improve one's image, then these acts will make a person slave to external validation. There are few others who go to the gym. They keep on working for hours together, and then they come out and tell others how to live a happy life. They feel now they can advise others. It is more like a holier than thou attitude, where now because I'm morally superior, I can tell you. Okay. And then the sense of feeling good. The sense of feeling good comes from outside, it's not from within. So you have many such people across different circles within your own family who are always competing with you to look better than you. They host bigger parties than you so that they can compete with you and show you down. Or, they spread around rumors so that the other person will look bad. And there's somebody who donate so that they will look good in front of the society. Generally, donation should be done silently. Nobody needs to know that you're donating. But people love to show that they're donating. Why? Because when they are getting that kind of the advertisement, then they're considered good people. And when they're considered good people, they have the serotonin production in their body because they're better than others. So this chakra is all about being better than others. So here we are dealing with very strong emotions with regard to how you perceive yourself, because these things will surface in a spiritual awakening process and you will have to deal with them. You cannot brush them under the carpet. If you have done something in your past which you're still feeling guilty about, maybe you lied, maybe you tarnished somebody's image, maybe you were abusive towards somebody, or maybe you were abused by somebody, that pain is there within you. Because of all these things, you will not feel beautiful inside. You will not feel worthy inside. You will feel as if, even if somehow you get something, you may not feel deserving of it. You may reject big things in life, though they are in your life. You will not value them because you think that you are not worthy of these things. Maybe you have the most beautiful woman as your wife. She is a perfect person, but you feel that you're not worthy of this woman. So, in a way, you will sabotage the relationship. Our ability to receive, it comes from our level of self worth. When we have high self worth, we are more open to receiving. When we are having low self worth, we can either be very greedy or we may not feel worthy of receiving. For that reason, we push away things. So we may have certain issues which we are embarrassed to talk about in public, some personal pain, it could be sexual pain, maybe we were harassed. Some, undergo a lot of sexual trauma, or maybe we were wrongly framed of doing something bad, or maybe you were accused of stealing, or maybe you were accused of doing something, even if you have done it unconsciously, or maybe if you have done it willingly also, it became a big thing and you got shamed, and you still hide away from the social circle or from your near and dear because you feel too ashamed to show your face to them. Then matters with regard to gossiping. Many people like to gossip. They gossip because when they gossip, people look at them. And when a lot of people are looking at you, serotonin rush is happening in the body. When you are driving a flashy car, people are watching you. When you look beautiful, people are watching you. All eyes are on you. Many people want it, especially those who have low self worth. They want everybody to look at them. When everybody look at them, they get a serotonin rush within them. But a humble person, they shy away from public display. They are, the shy type. They have humility within them. So they don't like to get too much of attention towards them. These people have a lot of high self-worth. The self-worth comes from inside. Not that, it is coming or it needs to be validated by something externally. So that is for somebody who's highly developed as a soul. But most people are at the lower level, or they're trying to move through a lot of these layers to reach that level of self worth. So when somebody is gossiping, they're just doing it because they can be of some service to everybody around them without really doing anything good. That is, to garner that type of an attention, you have to do good activities. But if a person does not want to do anything good, they're not generous, they don't want to do anything, but they still want to be the center of attraction, then the best way of doing such things is wearing flashy clothes or having the weird kind of makeup or some weird, expression of themselves so that everybody will watch them. Or it is being the news carrier or the person talking all, gossiping all matters of everybody are brought up, and this person makes fun of everybody's life, everybody's misery in society, in the family level, in between relatives. And for that, they need a scapegoat. So they pick up one or two in the family and they keep telling stories about them, their affairs, or they talk about affairs of celebrities or affair of particular politician or who did what to whom. All these things which are sensational. So they like to create sensation, and when they do that or when they trigger people, everybody's attention is on them and they enjoy it. So they're actually not doing anything of real value here, but they are trying to get everybody's attention onto themselves. Generally, people with low self worth, they participate in such activities, judging others and snooping into others' private matters. When somebody gives you some personal information based on trust, or when somebody uh, sort of opens up to you, or you have an access to certain private information of others and you are able to keep it to yourself without telling it to others because it can destroy lives. If you are able to do that, then you have high self-worth. So people who deceit, who cheat, and sometimes, when we're in lower vibrational states, some people might resort to cheating. They might have done, some minor activities here or there before the spiritual process kicked in, which they feel guilty about, shamed about. Now, all those things have to be wiped away in the spiritual evolution process. Then we have relationships. There's one type of relationship where you'll see the partner is overly clingy or overly attached. They will not give any private space to their wife or to their girlfriend. They're constantly calling them up, asking where they are. They're very jealous partners. So, in between partners, too, jealousy, shame, pain, the need to control, the need to abuse. You know, some marry because their partner has money, some marry because the partner looks good. So you're even staying with a person or marrying a person because there's some extra benefit. It is not that you genuinely like this person and that is why you want to spend your life with this person. It is not coming from noble thoughts or ideas. Here it is, how will the other person serve my purpose, or how will that other person be useful for me to attain my personal needs or my personal interests. Then some are into multiple partners. There's a lot of cheating, a lot of drama that is happening at this level. People fight over partners, that jealousy, that competition that crops up in love relationships. And then we keep on attracting that same negative partner into our life. And sometimes people don't want to commit themselves, some don't want to settle in life, some want to settle in life. There's these many different choices that person needs to make, which is very overwhelming. And apart from all these things, there are other aspects where people are into self pleasuring. There are other illegal, immoral activities that people involve in when it comes to their personal desires or fulfilling their sexual needs. Many even resort to a lot of criminal activities here, things which they would rather not speak externally, but they're very shamed about it internally. Ideas about religion. For example, religion prescribes something, but they do not want to stick to it. They might challenge the religious beliefs and they might want to make choices which are otherwise. And later on in life, they regret. They feel that maybe they will be going to hell because their choices were, deviating from the religious norms. All these things also can elicit a lot of fear and shame, pain, guilt in the person. Apart from that, you have the morally right people who are always, every chance they have to advise others on moralities, on what religion says, on how they're supposed to behave. You know, maybe what is right in one society is wrong in another society. So people again create their own sense of moralities, their own rules based on their cultural, religious, and the mindsets that are there, and they assign the sense of guilt in case they don't subscribe to those norms. Then when we are talking about spiritual evolution here, our ancestral DNA is there within us. We have to clear away those issues also. So we have no idea what all, stupid things our ancestors did, what their shames were, what they were guilty about, what their own self worth was, whether they were in total acceptance of themselves or not. We don't know. So they've dealt with all those issues, and their thoughts, their emotions are stored in our DNA. And all these things come out when we are undergoing a spiritual awakening process, and we need to understand all these aspects within us. If we do not understand what we are carrying within our dark side, if that does not come to the fore, we will not know ourselves completely. So, in a spiritual awakening process, everything that is there within the subconscious mind, which is in the darker areas of the mind, it can get expressed in the form of uh, dreams. It can come out in the form of emotions, in the form of a sudden, thought. Many negative things have to be dealt with at this level before you can see any light that is positive. And we have to work through all these emotions, and it can take many, many years. And as we are evolving, these emotions keep surfacing in us. It's a cyclical process. When we have cleared away one level of dealing with all these emotions, and then when the spiritual progression happens, when the next level of vibration is again about to happen, again you have to go through another loop of dealing with all these issues. So a spiritual awakening process, though it is an upward process, it is a spiraling upward process, like that. That is how I see it. So at every level, you're going through those loops of having to process all this information and reaching the next level of vibration. From there, again, you have to, take another loop. This is how it works. Here, we may have to even deal with how we look at sex, as what relationship means to us. For many, sex is like a commodity, even in marriage. They use sex to control the partner, and for some, sex is just a need. But for some, sex is a sacred activity which allows them to unify with the person at a higher level, their partner. So everybody has their own way of expressing themselves. So all these things will come up. And a spiritual evolution process is not about moral, conduct. It is not about that. It is about getting authentic with yourself, understanding yourself. And as you're understanding yourself, you'll understand from where all these things are coming to you actually. What is the source from where you feel all these things, this guilt, this pride, this shame? If you go into the roots of all these things, you will realize they do not come from one lifetime. They are there from many lifetimes in your soul evolution. In fact, we have this within us when we were at the animal level. For the animals, the Muladhara chakra or the root chakra is their highest chakra. When that opens up, they're born as humans in the next lifetime. So the human is just one level better than the animal, that's all. The neurotransmitters, the hormones that were produced in the animal, the same things are being produced in the human body also. So, though we have the human form, many of the neurotransmitters, hormones that are produced will keep us caught up in the lower animalistic behavior. And in the spiritual awakening process, we are moving away from these uh, hormones or these neurotransmitters. The way they are produced in a normal person, that will be changing, because now a person is moving away from this lower animalistic tendencies towards uh, integrating more of spirit into themselves. That is, they're going to become divine beings. So, when we are undergoing this process, this change within us, you will see a lot of fluctuations in hormones and neurotransmitters happening in our body. Because these fluctuations and changes have to happen for us to override our animalistic tendencies. For example, Even in monkeys, serotonin is produced there also. For example, say the leader of a pack of monkeys, it somehow sees a banana, on only ripe banana, and it gets the banana and it is eating the banana. It will display the banana to all the other monkeys that are there in the group, because it's the only one that can eat it, and no other monkey can come and challenge it. So it eats the banana with pride. And when it is doing this because serotonin is getting produced. Because this monkey is telling every other monkey that it is better than them. So basically, in the Swadhisthana chakra, it is all about competition, where you're trying to tell the other person, I'm better than you. I'm better than you because I'm more beautiful than you. I'm better than you because I can do things better than you, or I know more than you, or I'm a better person than you, or I'm right and you're wrong. So there is this kind of it's a competition. When it is healthy, it is okay, but it should not be unhealthy. When it is unhealthy, it can become very abusive, and it can take the person or the people involved in that drama to lower levels of guilt, blaming each other, aggression, drama, you know and then there is always this false pride that is associated, where I feel I'm right but the person is wrong. So when we are dealing with the issues of Swadhisthana chakra, we need to be very authentic. If we are caught up in false pride, we can never evolve. Even in the spiritual path, when we think we are somehow better than our friends who are not spiritual, because we are spiritual, we are better. When we have that mindset, we are not evolving anywhere. We are there only. Maybe they are better than us in a way that at least they think they are normal, but we think that we are, superior to them. So the game of superiority or feeling inferior, when you're caught up in this game, you are caught up with the drama in the level of the Swadhisthana chakra, and the person will be caught up in envy, in jealousy, they'll be in stress, because when your superior serotonin is produced, so you're very happy, you feel special, you feel entitled, you feel great, you're on top of the world. But when you feel devalued, nobody cares for you, nobody thinks that you're worth anything, when you're ignored, when your achievements are just brushed away, when nobody is seeing how great you are, how valuable you are, nobody thinks you're beautiful, then what happens is the serotonin production is not much. So on the other side, the person will go into depression. They will be envious. They'll be feeling shame. They'll be feeling a lot of guilt, dissatisfaction. So the serotonin levels here control how you feel with regard to the Swadhisthana chakra area. And it is goddess Varahi who controls the serotonin production in your body. Even in birds, when you see two birds coming together to form a team so that they can start a family, you will see the male bird performing dances for the female bird, gifting the female bird food, or trying to build a nest and show its capabilities of being a good partner. So here also, when the birds are dancing together, when they're working together, you will see that they're in deep love with each other. That is because in the bodies of these birds, serotonin is getting produced. When serotonin is getting produced between partners, the bond becomes very deep. They have an objective, they do some things, together. They like to spend time together. If serotonin is not produced in between partners, then their marriage or the relationship will not last long. They will automatically move away from each other. We often give flowers when we love somebody. The reason is that when somebody is receiving flowers, they feel happy. They feel happy because flowers are linked to a lot of positive neurotransmitters in our body. Dopamine is produced, serotonin is produced, oxytocin is produced, endorphin is produced. That is why Flowers are used at every happy and even in sad occasions we use flowers. We use flowers to express our love. We use flowers even when we are, offering it to God. So flowers are an integral part of how we celebrate life. We celebrate life when these neurotransmitters are produced in our body. And when these neurotransmitters are keeping us healthy, we are more lively, we are more active, and we are progressing spiritually. And that is why when we have celebrations very often in our life, many festivals, neurotransmitters in our body are often produced, which makes life happy. The Swadhisthana chakra, it is connected to how we respond to stress. Say, for example, when we feel distress, there is a part in our brain which is called the amygdala, which you can see in the first picture here. So the amygdala, it sends a distress signal if it finds some threatening situation, a situation which is dangerous for you. Say, for example, you're walking in the jungle and the tiger comes and stands in front of you. It's a state of distress. So the amygdala immediately it activates. It sends a signal to the hypothalamus. You can see that in the second picture. The hypothalamus, it activates a sympathetic nervous system. And this hypothalamus, it is in connection with the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands, they produce adrenaline, and this hormone adrenaline, it'll allow you to deal with that stress. It is the fight and flight mechanism in your body. So based on how big the threat is, you will have to take an immediate decision to whether to fight, whether to run away, or if it is not uh, possible either ways, you can just freeze. So when you feel it is the tiger and you stand no chances, you want to run. Because adrenaline is now produced in your body, your heart starts pumping faster, you're breathing more blood is moving away from your digestive tract into other muscles so that it can support your speed running. Okay, so you're all alert, all ready for action to run away from the tiger, and your body is ready to deal with it. After a while, when the danger zone is gone, your body again returns to normalcy. This is how the body is designed to function so that it can cope with certain stages where you have to deal with fear. But in certain situations or most of situations where we are no longer living in jungles, we have different type of stresses. It's either the stress of work or the stress of studies or a stress in a relationship, financial stress, health stress. We have different type of stresses. Now when we are consistently experiencing stress over a lot of time period, maybe of for 10 years, somebody has put up with abuse, in their marriage. They sort of were abused on a daily basis. They feared their spouse. They felt like they were living in a jail and they could not leave that prison because they had children. They had some reason to put up with all that abuse. Or some were taken into slavery and they were forced to work for years together in slavery. Many people have painful lives. At least many undergo a phase of deep pain in their life. Maybe for somebody, they had to deal with a lot of stress with regard to shame or guilt or getting, betrayed in love. Or maybe they had to put up with, broken relationships. So people have different types of pain, and all this pain causes, a kind of a stress within their body, which is there for many years. When the body is in a stress over a period of time, the hypothalamus, it produces the corticotropin hormone, and that hormone It works on the pituitary gland to produce the adrenocorticotropic hormone, and that at the level of the adrenaline, it produces cortisol. Adrenal glands are the small glands which are there on top of the kidneys. You can see them here in the second picture, right? So the cortisol here, when it is produced over a longer period of time, cortisol production will only stop when the body or the person feels safe. If the person does not feel safe, the person is in a high risk situation for a very long period of time, or the person is putting themselves into a high risk type of situation because of, they have these high risk behaviors, they're putting themselves into certain situations constantly which are life threatening, or which are keeping that person in, a lower state of vibration. In such a scenario, the sensors that are there at the level of the hypothalamus and the hippocampus, they will not turn off the cortisol production. See, for the cortisol production to stop in our body and for the body to return to normalcy, that is a state where you feel safe, there is no stress. For that to happen, the sensors that are there in the hypothalamus region and hippocampus region of the brain have to turn off the cortisol production. But if a person is always putting himself or herself into high risk situations, they are somehow, because of maybe their karmic patterns or maybe because of an unresolved issues within themselves, they're constantly putting themselves into stress. Then the cortisol production is continuously happening in the body. When that is happening, the HPA axis, that is the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis, it gets disturbed. It does not function properly. And because of that, cortisol production, it increases. There's consistent production of cortisol in the body, and this over a period of time can lead to a lot of autoimmune diseases. Generally, when somebody has a spiritual Kundalini awakening, they have autoimmune diseases. Many of them experience it because for many, spiritual awakening can happen from trauma or severe stress also. When it happens in that manner, they will have to first deal with overcoming the autoimmune disease. And what I realized from my personal experience is this: as we are healing from the autoimmune disease, we are even healing from our past. We are healing from our pain. I think they go hand in hand. So, as you are healing from your pain, your symptoms with regard to the autoimmune disease also will come down. And sometimes people even develop autoimmune diseases if they have had steroids or they have exposed them to certain types of chemicals. There are various reasons why we can have this, but this can be a part of the spiritual awakening process also. Or maybe when somebody is going to spiritually awaken, something might happen in their life that may cause the autoimmune disease. I suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome for nearly about 14-15 years. So, what is an autoimmune disease? See, when the immune system in our body is working correctly, it will attack the germs and bacteria that are trying to create disease in our body. But when our body is not able to differentiate between a dangerous virus and our own healthy cell, the immunity is attacking its own healthy cells thinking it is some foreign cell body. And because of this, the immunity is, it is overactive. When it is overactive, it will cause autoimmune diseases. These are our nerve cells. The nerve cells, they are connected to each other through the chemical messengers. The second picture on the top, you can see how the chemical messaging system works between two nerve cells. So what are these chemical messengers? These are the neurotransmitters. We produce many different type of neurotransmitters, and these neurotransmitters do a lot of functions in our body. They including how our moods function, it depends on the type, quality of neurotransmitters that are produced in our body. So these neurotransmitters are serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, acetylcholine, endorphins. There are many other neurotransmitters also, but these are the more important ones. So they regulate our sleeping time, our waking time, how focused we are, or several other functions within our body. They are under the control of these neurotransmitters. Now, these hormones, serotonin, you will see it in plants also. It is the growth hormone there. As I said earlier, these neurotransmitters are produced in plants, they're produced in animals, and the same things are produced in humans also. When we are spiritually evolving, the production of these hormones or these neurotransmitters changes. It is a little different from an average person. When it is changing, we are changing. We are transforming into divine beings. Lot of things, our moods, how we perceive reality, what we think about, our emotions, they are in a way controlled by the neurotransmitters and hormones that are produced in the body. The serotonin hormone, which is the topic today, this hormone, when it is produced very high, it is not good. If it is low in production, it is not good. It should be in a balanced proportion. And after we have healed away our guilt, our shame, our pain, the desires that are there associated with the Swadhisthana chakra, when we have dealt with all that material there, you will notice that the serotonin production in the gut has reached a level of internal balance, because of which the person's self worth is high. They are not fragmented with regard to their self worth at that level. Their courage level is high. Their inner drive is high. Inner drive to do things, to create opportunities, to grow. And these are not coming from the lower selfish egoic self. Rather, they're coming from a higher level of divine guidance, and they're able to use their inner intuition also. The spiritual awakening process, it can feel like a tornado of emotions at the level of Swadhisthana chakra, as the hormonal levels and various neurotransmitter levels in our body are fluctuating. There are other reproductive hormones also present at that level for men and women, which are different. As I said earlier, the goddess Varahi Devi, she controls serotonin, and she is present at the brainstem region. There is a chakra called the Tadu chakra, and she is in that chakra. So the serotonin is produced in two areas in your body. The first area is the brainstem region, where you have the Raphe nuclei. So the serotonin in the brain is produced at this level, and serotonin, it helps in lot of different aspects of functioning of our body, especially when somebody is in the early stages of having a spiritual or Kundalini awakening process. They can have lot of issues with regard to the digestive tract. I had acidity, I had severe nausea, I was throwing up very often, I suffered from irritable bowel syndrome. So all these things are again linked with serotonin production in your body. And when the various pranic movements are happening at the level of chakras in your body, we experience various symptoms associated with the particular level of the process we are in. So here I was experiencing a lot of fluctuations in serotonin production. In my own experience, it was like, a tornado in a teacup, something like that. Because the Swadhisthana chakra area, it feels like water, because the element that is there in it is water. It feels like there's a cyclone in a sea or a cyclone in a water, and that water is in a bowl or maybe a teacup in this Swadhisthana chakra. That is how I feel it. But then the intensity at that level, it is very high, at least the one which I experienced. And this went on for many, many, many years in my body. Now, when we are having less serotonin production in our body, we can go into depression, anxiety. Many even try to commit suicide or attempt to commit suicide here. Generally, when somebody falls in love and the partner is also responding, they have serotonin being produced in their body. But if the love breaks up, then suddenly serotonin production in the body stops or it falls down. When it falls down, you have all those issues which are connected with love breakup. People go into depression. They're in a very dark space. Some want to die. Some have their older self-worth issues cropping up. They're into blaming themselves or their partner. They feel guilty. They feel sorry for themselves. They feel unlucky. They don't feel beautiful anymore. They feel that maybe they have rejected something very worthy, or maybe they got rejected. So all these issues which are the content of the Swadhisthana chakra, they all come out to play as a drama in these lovers life. So everything is coming up here to be cleared out, and they have to sort of put up with that. They cannot even hide away or run away from those emotions. They have to understand to deal with that, the tornado of emotions that is, running through their mind, and they have to come out of it, healing themselves. The serotonin, it even has the power of healing, especially in a spiritual awakening process. What I realized is the personal shame, guilt, self-worth issues, issues of courage where we could not stand up for ourselves, we did not know how to set boundaries. All these things, you learn lessons about them. The lessons, when you're learning it, it is very painful. But once you have learned the lessons, the essence of your Swadhisthana chakra, you have understood yourself. You have understood to balance these issues at the level of Swadhisthana chakra. And now your self worth is intact. Your self worth is not based upon what others think of you. Your self worth is not linked to lies. Your self worth is not linked to a false sense of pride, or your self worth is not dependent on how others perceive you. Rather, it comes from an inner sound ground where you understand yourself and you are living life from an authentic space. Because you are living your life from an authentic space, you don't care much for what others think about you. You're not bothered about how others judge you, because it is like, I know myself. I seriously, you understand that others have ways in how they form opinions and judgments. You understand all that. So here now your focus is on expressing yourself authentically. And when you are in that zone, you are not trying to create an image for the external world. Rather, you're just speaking from your inner truth. When you are living life like this and you know how to set strong boundaries, you know how to protect yourself from negative situations, negative people, and you don't take unnecessary risks in life. See, when serotonin production is not there properly in our life, we will take unnecessary, unwanted risks in our life. We try to push our comfort zones. When people get greedy, they put themselves into risky situations. When people want cheap thrills in life, they put themselves into risky situations. When people who were abused in their life, they don't know how to make wise choices. They somehow again get caught up in those abusive loops. They are putting themselves into uncomfortable situations. They're taking more risk in life. So when you're taking more risk in life, serotonin production will fall down. You will be an unhappy person. You'll be caught up in risky, dangerous situations. You don't know when and where to stop. We can get caught up in addictions also. We are ruled more by our drives rather than wisdom. Because here, even for your wisdom to work, your inner intuition to work, the serotonin production level should be correct in your belly. If it is not the right level, you cannot connect with your inner intuition. Your inner intuition is in the gut, and 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. So, when you don't know how to deal with life when you're putting yourself into risky situations, please understand that is because serotonin levels are low in your body, and then you have to do certain activities to increase serotonin production in the gut of your body. When you do that, you are able to balance. And once you regain that inner balance, you can easily process other emotions like shame, guilt, all those things. It is easier to process those things. So, the correct level of serotonin production in the Swadhisthana chakra region, it will heal you from all those issues that are there at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra, which I just spoke about earlier in this video. There are two places where serotonin is produced in your body. One is the brainstem region, the raphe nuclei, and these are the serotonin pathways in the brain. Then the other area is your gut. So 90% of the serotonin is produced in the gut region. Only 10% is produced in the brain region. And they work separately. When we are healed, the serotonin levels in our gut are the right level. And because of that, we feel beautiful inside. We feel happy. We feel we are in a safe space. So your sense of security, your sense of feeling happy, trust, feeling faith, it is all linked to serotonin. When serotonin is being properly produced in your body, you will have a very balanced life. You will be living within your comfort zone. Because of that, stress will not get triggered in your body. You will be in safe spaces, or at least you will know when you're not in a safe space so that you can take action to come back into a safe zone again. You can understand which person is your enemy who is trying to come out as a friend to you. You can understand which place is safe for you, which place is not comfortable for you. Here, your discretion is working fine, and because of that, you will not take unnecessary risks. You will not allow unnecessary people or unnecessary situations to enter into your life, which are detrimental to you. You can easily gauge that and you can avoid those situations. When serotonin production is correct in your body, you feel happy, very happy state, very joyous, content state. All those earlier, negative emotions, they're just wiped out like they never happened. This happens at the, at a very mature level in the spiritual awakening process. You feel so beautiful inside. You think you're beautiful. You express yourself beautifully. You see beauty in everything. And you'll have people in your life who tell you you're beautiful. So, this is a very calming, peaceful zone that you have come into with a spiritual or a Kundalini awakening process. But the path to come to this area is not easy. These are the issues I spoke about earlier in this module. We will come out of all these things, all the voices within our head, which are there as part of memories that somebody ridiculed you, somebody put you to shame, somebody judged you, somebody put you to unnecessary pain, you were betrayed, or you ridiculed others, you were the perpetrator. Maybe somebody took advantage of you sexually. All these things, these voices are there in our head and they bother us a lot. They cause unnecessary stress within us. These voices come more when we are in a spiritual awakening process. where we are critical about ourselves, we are judging ourselves, we are blaming ourselves, we don't feel worthy of things, worthy of divine love. All these issues, they are fake, they come up to be processed. My own process, I was feeling unworthy of receiving so much of divine love. The goddess was showering me with love, but I was questioning, am I worthy of receiving so much of love? When I kept on asking this question, there was so much serotonin getting produced in my gut area. There was a very happy, joyous flow of energy in my gut area. It was feeling like, water was flowing through my gut area. And there was sudden bursts of happiness in my stomach. And that went on till I said, yes, I'm worthy of receiving so much of love. Yes, I'm worthy of divine grace. Yes, I've worked for it, so I have it, and I'm receiving it. So here you receive it not from a state of pride, but rather from a state of deep humility. Because the ego, that constricted sense of I, which had the pride, that got in a way wiped away in this process. So whatever sense of being a part of this life, or being a consciousness which is having the experiences of these life, when at that level you're receiving this grace of God, it only brings in the best out of you as an individual. It brings about deep humility within you, and that adds to more inner beauty, where the person feels even more beautiful inside, even more serotonin is produced, more joyous bliss is gurgling through the stomach, and that same joy is you can feel it throughout the body. And it is goddess Varahi, when you pray to her, she can correct the production of serotonin level in your gut. When that happens, you will easily go into these states. See, we can have a spiritual awakening process and try to work through these various levels of dross by individual effort. It can take lot of time because I was not aware of all these things. My effort was more of an individual effort, and it took me many decades to process through all that. But when you have the goddess energies, at this level, I realized that this goddess energy is available, and that came to my conscious awareness when I was coming out of the karma that was associated with Swadhisthana Chakra. That is when I understood the presence of Varahi Devi in my body, and that is when I understood how she could have made things easier for me, which nobody told me. That is why I'm making this video. When you're dealing with issues with regard to the Swadhisthana chakra, seek her blessings through mantra chanting, through inviting her into your personal space, inviting her into your Swadhisthana chakra. Allow her to work, her energies to work through your body. When she is doing that, the serotonin level production in your stomach will automatically come into a balanced state with her blessings. And once that happens, you can very easily come out of the guilt, the shame, envy, jealousy, the judgments of others that you thought was you, your self worth, your self value, your self pride, the arrogance that is associated with the chakra, the cheating, the betrayal, the uh, abuse. There are many things. Most of the drama happens in this region. All those things you can easily overcome with her blessings. If the serotonin level is produced correctly in your gut area for a period of time, a prolonged period of time, you will automatically come out of all these issues. You don't have to consciously bring everything to your consciousness and work through each emotion separately. It'll happen automatically. She will wipe away everything. Only thing is, serotonin has to be produced in your gut area for a prolonged period of time. You need to be in a safe space. You should be in your comfort zone, not take unnecessary risks. Surrender to the divine presence of Varahi Devi. Chant her mantras and keep yourself, dedicate yourself towards coming out of these uh, various attitudes, behaviors, various, mental impressions that you have taken on, the pain. When you do this as a practice for, prolonged period of time, the amount of serotonin level in your gut gets balanced automatically. All your things that are associated with the Swadhisthana chakra, everything gets wiped out. It gets wiped out and cleaned out like a slate with less effort. I wish I had somebody telling me this. This I have learned, through a lot of hard work. So if you have any such issues in your life, very easy way to deal with these issues is just turn towards Goddess Varahi. She will take care of it. Other things that affect the production of serotonin levels and keeping it correct in your body are, they are listed here. So if you are, undergoing a lot of abuse, or you've just come out of abuse, you're in depression. Sometimes serotonin, when it is produced in high amounts, it can even create hallucinations. Hallucinations, which, sometimes we have certain dreams which feel like they were real. You know it is a dream, but it feels real. It is because of the production of serotonin. So, serotonin allows you to even deal with karma that is very deep inside your body. That is, even the karmic karma of your ancestors can come out when the serotonin fluctuations are happening in your body. And that is why I told you Varahi Devi has a elongated mouth. She is digging deep into that muddy waters. And during this phase, you will have dreams of, snakes in muddy waters, or snakes coming out of water. So when you are in that phase, a lot of karma with regard to this Swadhisthana chakra is getting cleansed out. A lot of laughter, belly, shaking laughter can produce serotonin. And when serotonin is produced well in your body, you are more focused, you are happy, you are more creative, you attract more opportunities in life. You want to travel, you want to understand life even better. You're in that learning zone where every day is learning, every day is fun. You have healthy pursuits, hobbies, interests, and then you try to consciously stay away from high risk situations. Eat more organic food, stay away from junk food, and then rest well, walk in the sun, keep away negative people from your life. Have strong boundaries. When the serotonin is being produced properly at the level of the brainstem region, you will learn to set personal boundaries. And serotonin, or Goddess Varahi Devi, she even protects you from negative entities, negative situations, negative people. We see somebody, we say that they put a spell on us, or they have the evil eye. When they, look at us, somehow it affects our health or our finances. So she protects you from such people. Once the issues with regard to the Swadhisthana chakra are healed, you will regain a new level of confidence. You have sort of re-emerged, reinvented yourself, and you have bounced back in life. There's so much energy now in you that whatever you want to do at this level, you will automatically get drawn into certain situations where you can create new relationships, new work opportunities come into your life, new levels of finances. It could be sources of happiness, they're coming into your life, because once the Swadhisthana chakra is healed, you attract all these things automatically into your life. And once you have healed away from the lessons that you have to learn from the karmic partner, you will even attract a spiritual partner into your life. Now you understand to live life without getting caught up in judgment, in shame, in guilt, or in self doubt. You have gone beyond all that. And you understand life from a higher perspective. To reach this state, we must have totally outgrown envy or jealousy. We are no longer in competition with others. We collaborate with everybody around with us, with work with people around with us. We don't see anybody else as a competitor. We see how we can create win win situations for everybody in our life and for ourselves also. That way, you become more productive as a social member. You can create employment opportunities for others. You automatically will receive lot of respect from others. Earlier, at the lower level, we wanted people to look at us. We had this self pride. We were dressing differently so that somebody would notice us. But at this level, people will they will praise you, they will follow you because your efforts are benefiting to make their lives better. So you will move to a level, a higher level of vibration. From there, you will add real value to the lives of people, either psychologically, physically, it could be mentally, or it could be financially or socially. You contribute for the welfare of others in your society, in your family. So, this is the kind of change that Goddess Varahi Devi can bring about in your life when she touches you. This is a mantra of Goddess Varahi that I've written here, and this is very useful for people, especially those who are in the early states of spiritual evolution process, and they have to deal with lot of the dark material that is coming up. They may even have certain attacks from entities. In such a scenario, Goddess Varahi Devi is always, her presence will always make the process move with a healthy pace, and you will learn quickly in the process also with her blessings. We work not just for money now, we work so that we feel that sense of contributing for something larger. We have to understand how we can postpone gratification. When we learn to postpone gratification, more serotonin is produced when you get that reward. For example, if somebody is gaining weight, right, they're eating a lot of ice cream every day. When they tell themselves, I will not eat ice cream, they feel grief. So they eat ice cream. But after eating ice cream, they feel miserable. But if they want to gain weight, then they sort of tell themselves, if I lose 2 kilos, then I will eat a cup of ice cream. So they wait for losing 2 kilos before they can eat the next cup of ice cream. When they are doing this, the ice cream will feel like a prize. They will cherish it. And even after eating it, they will not feel guilty about it. They've eaten it with love. When we are talking about food habits, when they are junk food related, unhealthy food, they will produce unhealthy emotions in your body. So stay away from such foods. Serotonin production can get lowered if you are more into junk food. Please cook your meals at home and eat fresh organic food. Whatever you are eating, eat it fresh and organically. That way, serotonin production is good in your stomach. Don't eat food that is kept in the refrigerator, the frozen food. Don't eat packaged food. Avoid it as much as possible. And don't eat food which is laden with chemicals and colors and additives. Then we have to understand what triggers the sense of rejection within us, what triggers the sense of acceptance within us, and we have to try to override these areas consciously. Learn to be in acceptance of life. Let it be good, let it be bad. Learn to accept both with equanimity. Live like a stoic. a karma yogi. When you live like that, nothing outside will affect you. And once nothing outside is affecting you, and your source of self worth, source of happiness is coming from inside of you. That will only happen when you're living authentically. You have certain interests or hobbies that create happiness, inner happiness in your life, inner sense of calmness in your life. When you're living like that, then serotonin will automatically get balanced. The production in your belly will get balanced. The issues of the Swadhisthana chakra, they are many and they affect various areas of our life. If I talk about each of these things, the video length can go for even another 2 to 3 hours, and even that will not be enough to cover the various aspects of how the issues of the Swadhisthana chakra affect us. The only thing I can say is it is tied very closely with your sense of self worth, your sense of humility. When somebody is very deeply rooted in jealousy, pride, arrogance, they are caught up in this game of superiority or inferiority, or they feel this moral righteousness. All these things, they will not understand that they have to overcome these things to balance the energies at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra. It needs a level of authenticity and humility to even acknowledge that we have these flaws within us, and this pain, this dark material that comes from this level can affect our life in various ways. And in a way, we are not able to even accept or understand the grace of the divine because of all these things that are there within us. To understand this, we need a level of the detachment from the idea of being superior or inferior. Rather, we should be grounded in authenticity. And when we are grounded in authenticity, the sense of I-ness, it gets a little oriented towards a higher level of expression. When that happens, it is much easier to come out of the dross or the karmic baggage that is there at the level of the Swadhisthana chakra and connect with the divine energy. Thank you.